I internalized that as opportunity. Like we had such a responsibility to this audience to deliver something and to have the opportunity to deliver something for a passionate group of people.
Being a man who was willing to at least listen to them, there's no chance that I would be having this conversation.
Hello, this is Macy Blake Lively, once a staple of red carpets and glossy magazine covers. She saw her carefully tended public image take a sharp and unexpected turn in recent weeks. A project that should have been a shining milestone in her career, a star role in a film adaptation of a beloved novel, directed and co-written by Justin Baldoni, has instead become a swirl of uneasy rumors, leaked text messages, legal entanglements, and an increasingly polarized Hollywood. What began as whispers about creative disputes quickly escalated into serious allegations and counterclaims, culminating in the extraordinary moment when Blake's own attorney stepped away and implied that her side of the story might be inconsistent with the evidence. Now, as more details emerge, a surprising number of prominent figures appear to have shifted their support toward Justin. Below is a detailed chronicle of the situation, spotlighting 10 celebrities who, according to insiders, have quietly or openly aligned themselves with Justin Baldoni in the midst of the chaos, turning away from Blake despite her once formidable standing in the entertainment world.
It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. And I hope people find it inspiring, and yet also, you know, it's a film about a heavy topic. It's about domestic violence.
Blake's career trajectory had been marked by success and widespread admiration. Known for her vibrancy in media appearances and her fashion sense, she earned a devoted fan base that perceived her as relatable and unpretentious. Though recognized for her comedic timing and friendly rapport with fellow celebrities, she had rarely been associated with high-profile disputes or controversies. Many simply assumed she navigated Hollywood's competitive waters with poise. However, trouble surfaced once the production of a much-anticipated novel adaptation got underway. Justin Baldoni, already admired for projects that emphasize positivity and heartfelt storytelling, brought his directing skills, writing sensibilities, and on-camera presence to the venture. The synergy of two popular names promised a film that would potentially move audiences and satisfy the devoted readership of the original book. The friction escalated when Blake filed an official complaint, alleging inadequate protocols on set during certain scenes, as well as comments Justin allegedly made about her postpartum physical condition that she found dismissive. The matter might have remained an unverified clash of perspectives had Blake's attorney not released a set of selectively edited text messages that bolstered her claims. Soon, though, Justin's team countered with unredacted conversations that complicated her narrative. They showed the original context surrounding those same messages, with timestamps, clarifications, and in some cases, emojis that had been omitted from Blake's exhibits. These unedited logs undermined her story at crucial junctures, like the claim that Justin walked into her trailer uninvited, which was directly contradicted by texts indicating she herself had texted him to come in. An already tense situation reached a turning point when Blake's own attorney stepped down and publicly acknowledged serious reservations about continuing the representation. The attorney did not explicitly state wrongdoing on Blake's part, but spoke of a profound conflict between what Blake was asserting and what the available evidence appeared to show. This moment sent shockwaves through Hollywood because top-tier lawyers do not often divulge ethical concerns about a client while withdrawing. The departure signaled to many that the allegations against Justin might have been based on partial or misleading accounts. In the aftermath, numerous individuals who had previously shown neutrality or even quiet backing for Blake stepped forward to voice their support for Justin. Among them were 10 celebrities whose statements or behind-the-scenes comments, insiders say, have tipped the balance in Justin's favor.
And being frank, if it were not for women giving me direct feedback in my own personal life and being a man who was willing to at least listen to them, there's no chance that I would be having this conversation. So the message, to answer your question, the message is very simple. As men, we need to embrace all of the parts of us that make us human. That's it.
It is.
It's very simple.
One figure who quietly shifted alliances is a co-star on the project, someone who had once praised Blake's professionalism in the earliest press releases. This co-star had initially stayed on the fence, reluctant to take sides. However, after reading the complete text messages and observing the difference between those and the ones Blake's team distributed, the co-star reportedly began privately telling colleagues that the controversy was largely fueled by misunderstandings that Blake had stoked. Another well-known performer who collaborated with Justin on a previous production revealed in private conversations that Justin's style is consistently transparent and caring. Notes he had also placed in text messages to Blake verified he was always willing to address any concerns she had about physical comfort or performance details. Then there is a prominent singer-songwriter who has ties to both Blake and Justin socially and had introduced them long before this project took shape. She apparently felt conflicted, but decided to offer moral support to Justin once the unredacted messages came out. In her view, the complete transcripts revealed a pattern of frequent check-ins from Justin to ensure any strenuous scenes were manageable for all parties involved, including Blake and those dealing with injuries. She purportedly made the point that such a considerate attitude hardly aligned with the portrayal of a dismissive colleague. A seasoned television actress with personal ties to Blake, having occasionally attended events and double dates with Blake and Ryan, saw the reports of withheld context in the messages and conveyed to mutual acquaintances that she found the discrepancy unsettling. While initially hesitant to label any of Blake's claims as unfounded, she ultimately concluded that the evidence from Justin's side looked more consistent. This actress stopped short of making a public declaration, but those close to her have noted that she quietly pulled away from associating with Blake's narrative. A major turning point for many was also learning about the rumored child recording, in which, as the story goes, one of Blake's daughters accidentally caught her discussing a plan to present normal production issues as serious grievances against Justin. Though the authenticity of this anecdote is unconfirmed, the mere suggestion that such a conversation existed was enough to shake faith in Blake's account. Another celebrity, someone who had become friendly with Blake through philanthropic circles, heard about the story and stepped back, believing that even the possibility of such a scenario indicated a level of maneuvering behind the scenes that felt unsettling. An acclaimed actress from a major film franchise likewise took note of the swirling accusations and the abrupt departure of Blake's lawyer. She had worked with Justin on a charity initiative in the past and described him as empathetic, organized, and fair. Once she read about the contradictions in the text messages, she began to voice her discomfort with how the situation was unfolding, expressing to colleagues that this scandal might tarnish the entire production and overshadow the original novel's emotional depth. A well-known producer from a top streaming platform also expressed quiet support for Justin. This producer had once considered Blake for a separate project but decided to put any negotiations on hold, citing the unpredictability of her behind-the-scenes behavior. Based on recent events, from a practical standpoint, the producer worried about the possibility of a future meltdown and the public relations storm that might follow.
But I was like just tracking him down, and then I finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller. So that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director.
Yeah.
And so I said, what is this? Because the script is definitely like a twisting, turning, intense thriller. Is it a comedy or a thriller? And he said, yes. So then every day on set, I was like, is today a comedy or is it a thriller?
It's a good mix
and
of
it's
both.
like, yeah, it's like really kind of over the top and campy and trashy and fun and like, kind of like my outfit, I guess.
According to insiders, the producer privately relayed respect for Justin's diplomacy during the ordeal and credited him for maintaining a calm, consistent narrative rather than further inflaming the situation. Even those who share close ties with Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, have been hesitant to fully align with her side of the story, given that Ryan himself has not made definitive statements. One comedic actor, well acquainted with Ryan, commented off the record that he found the unredacted messages pretty telling and was perplexed by how they diverged from Blake's portrayal of events. While not leveling direct criticism at Blake, he seemed to hold the viewpoint that the evidence simply did not match her allegations of being persistently sidelined by Justin. Among the last to weigh in is a filmmaker who had considered hiring Blake for a future endeavor. He has known Justin for years in a professional context and views him as someone who champions a respectful, open environment on set. Since the controversy emerged, the filmmaker decided to consult with those in the know. What he learned about the partial text messages and the lawyer's statement made him reconsider any immediate casting decisions involving Blake, concluding that there might be a risk of similar complications arising. The final notable shift came from an influential entertainment personality who runs a successful talk show, known for forging friendships with numerous Hollywood A-listers. This personality initially maintained a neutral, curious stance, likely hoping that the drama would subside. However, once the lawyer's public step-down raised serious questions, the talk show host reportedly changed their perspective, leaning toward Justin's version of events. In private circles, the Post is said to have mentioned that, while all major productions have conflicts, the core of Blake's claims seemed unsubstantiated in light of the actual text records and the mounting disapproval from those directly involved. In many ways, these 10 celebrities, some of whom prefer to remain anonymous, while others have signaled their stance in more tangible ways, encapsulate the shifting mood in Hollywood. Once a star widely regarded with affection and trust, Blake has, at least in the short term, seen that trust eroded. Skeptics who might have believed she was being singled out for criticism due to her high profile are no longer so certain. Confronted with documented conversations that challenge her most serious accusations, they have reevaluated where they stand, and several have even walked back initial support. The general sense is that they do not want to be associated with a narrative that appears built on incomplete or slanted evidence.
The idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
Meanwhile, Justin has managed to keep his commentary mostly free of direct attacks on Blake. His public statements and interviews emphasize cooperation, transparency, and the importance of accountability. He has displayed text messages in their unedited, chronological form, clarifying the context behind each dispute or message that Blake had presented in partial form. Observers note that this strategy is particularly effective. Rather than engage in heated back-and-forth accusations, Justin simply puts the complete communication chain on display, letting neutral parties form their own conclusions. Industry veterans say that this approach will likely serve him well beyond this single project. While the turmoil around the adaptation has cast a cloud over its production, the goodwill Justin has cultivated could help him continue securing collaborators for future ventures. In contrast, Blake faces a challenging path. Some producers and networks have already put negotiations on hold, adopting a watchful approach until the dust settles and her reliability in a professional setting becomes clearer. Even some fans are wrestling with the notion that her friendly public persona may differ significantly from the persona displayed in private conversations. A common question that arises is why Blake might have chosen to pursue such a confrontational path if the underlying evidence was shaky. One speculation holds that she genuinely felt overshadowed and believed she could reshape power dynamics by highlighting set-related grievances. Another suggests she miscalculated how thoroughly text messages and other private documentation could be used against her once they were public. In an era of digital footprints, it only takes a few screenshots or voice recordings to unravel a narrative, especially if the narrative contradicts the raw data. Although some individuals in her circle continue to assert that misunderstandings remain, the attorney's abrupt resignation undercuts that line of defense in the eyes of many. The fallout has also impacted Blake's personal sphere. Ryan, typically known for his comedic social media presence and witty remarks about married life, has rarely broached the subject in any public forum. There were initial indications that he supported her fully. Later, though, rumors hinted he too had been shown a series of unfiltered communications that made him question the veracity of her claims. Friends close to the couple remained tight-lipped, not wanting to wade into speculation about how this might affect their household dynamics. Yet, the mere fact that Ryan has stayed quiet while many in Hollywood step away from Blake's accusations speaks volumes to certain observers.
A lot of it's my real-life clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some...
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blue, something new.
Wait, which one? Now I want to think of the scene.
Oh, I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
Tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband, but I
Wait,
borrowed
that's
it.
his suit?
It was meant for him to wear, but it's so pretty. Look at it. You guys are not getting it in the shot.
For these 10 celebrities who have shifted toward Justin's side, some more discreetly than others, the choice is both personal and professional. They want to stand with someone whose documented behavior appears more genuine and less contradictory, and they also wish to shield themselves from potential backlash if Blake's allegations continue to unravel. Hollywood is a realm where reputation is paramount, and no one wants to be tied to claims that may prove indefensible. These figures also appear influenced by the discovery that Justin's approach aligns with the positive qualities he's publicly championed, qualities they've witnessed themselves or heard about from direct sources. As the situation continues, it's possible that more personalities will add their voices in support of Justin or, at the very least, distance themselves from the narrative Blake has put forth. Further, it remains an open question whether new evidence might emerge to alter public perception yet again. It's not uncommon for high-profile stories to see multiple twists. For now, though, the broad sentiment indicates that Justin is on firmer ground, supported by those who have examined the extensive documentation. The project itself still has potential to be a box office success or a critical triumph, assuming audiences don't lose interest because of the drama overshadowing it. Blake's immediate challenges are clear. She needs to either present a persuasive rebuttal to the revelations, step back from the public spotlight to regroup, or acknowledge any exaggerations or miscommunications that may have occurred. Each choice comes with risks. A direct confrontation with Justin's evidence could backfire if more context emerges that doesn't align with her claims. Going silent might only provoke more speculation from fans and the media. Attempting to reconcile the conflicting information might involve admitting at least partial responsibility, which could salvage professional relationships, but might ding her star image for some time. Those who sympathize with her might continue to do so, suggesting that biases in the industry could be factoring into the situation. But the overarching consensus, in light of the evidence to date, is that Blake's claims may have been inflated or, at the very least, presented without context. By contrast, Justin's evidence-driven, composed responses have won him a cadre of supporters, including the 10 celebrities at the heart of this discussion. They have, in effect, turned on Blake, or perhaps more accurately, turned toward what they perceive as a more credible position. In the end, the heartbreak for fans is that a project they had hoped would be a triumphant, touching film adaptation has been overshadowed by bitter headlines. Some still hope the final product will triumph over the controversy and capture the essence of the original book's emotional journey. Justin appears committed to navigating past the drama, focusing on shaping a film that speaks for itself. Blake's next steps remain uncertain, but her star power alone may not suffice to clear away the cloud that has formed around these events. Time, new information, or a reconciliatory gesture might shift the balance once again. Yet for now, the tide has shifted significantly in Justin's favor, as demonstrated by those 10 individuals, some known, some unnamed, who have chosen to stand with him over the actress who was once seen as practically untouchable in Hollywood circles.